Adventure 4. What's mine is yours. The Wayfarers spend a relaxing week at Conch Beach at the request of the Eastern Exchange goblin boss, Mr. Bigsy. During this time, they take in the sights, enjoying the amusement park and gift shop at the resort, and even learn a few handy skills from the local experts. All the while, messengers are running in and out of the resort as Bigsy makes arrangements to pay off the debt he owes that led to the contract on his life. As the week comes to a close, the gnome desk manager Fitz informs the party that Mr. Bigsy is ready to see them. Inside the goblin boss's penthouse, they are given a mining deed and a black metal key. Mr. Bigsy also hands them a note addressed to the mine foreman, a goblin by the name of Nitro. The party is told to deliver the deed to Mayor Byron Westman in the port town of Westman. From there, they must travel to the mining operation, the Westman Tunnels, and clear out the vault. Everything must be shipped back to Conch Beach except for the contents of the chest for which they were given the key. This will go to Lady Freya Moraine on the Isle of Cornucopia, the third island in the Eastern Exchange. Passage to Westman has already been arranged, although Mr. Bigsy warns of overzealous steel ring ships patrolling the coast. The group will receive payment of 250 gold upon reaching the mine, and another 250 after returning from Cornucopia. With that, Mr. Bigsy sends them off. Down at the pier, the party once again meets Keel, the crewman they rescued from Spearhead Point. Hired by Mr. Bigsy to sail them to Westman aboard a modest sloop, Keel ushers them aboard and sets off. They pass over a colorful coral reef, one of the many tourist attractions of the Conch Beach Resort, before reaching deeper waters. The voyage remains uneventful until they spot the steel ring ship, Hammerhead. The goblin crew motions for them to approach and be boarded. Keel complies and pulls up next to the massive galleon. They all climb aboard the Hammerhead while a goblin inspector boards their own ship and begins to look it over. A muscular, red-headed orc woman addresses the party, introducing herself as Captain Cutter. She directs the party to her first mate, whom the group quickly recognizes as Vice, the bugbear officer they aided in Zephyr Wharf. After hearing about the Wayfarers' win in the Zephyr Wharf boat race, Cutter seems unimpressed. But learning that they also helped apprehend Lucas Fierro and stop his smuggling operation earns them the orc's respect. She confers with Vice before sharing sensitive information with the group. They learn that 2 guards were recently killed in the Steel Key prison, with no evidence of who might have committed the crimes. Cutter asks the trio if they would be willing to go undercover as prisoners at Steel Key to investigate once they've completed their current task. They consider the offer. Their conversation is interrupted by a shout from the ship's lookout. A pair of sharks are closing in on the ship. Captain Cutter waves off the warning until the lookout says that they are swimming in formation. The orc growls, knowing that the ship is about to be attacked by sea devils. Sure enough, a school of the savage fish folk circles the Hammerhead, heaving their hardened coral tridents at the hull and crew. As the aquatic attackers try to dismantle the 2 ships from below, Nautilus battles one that climbs aboard. Nakoa leaps onto the sloop to prevent its destruction by a second attacker, slaying the fishman in the water. When his druidic spells are unsuccessful against the vile fishfolk, Scourge transforms into a giant goat and charges at Nautilus's opponent, knocking the creature prone before impaling it on his horns. Wasting no time after the kill, the tiefling druid leaps into the water to drive off the others tearing at the ship's hull, quickly hooking a rope around his horns to avoid sinking below the waves. By this time, Nautilus has targeted another sea devil aboard the ship, pinning it to the railing. Scourge continues to strike the sea devils around him in the water, but is quickly surrounded. Nakoa attempts to aid his druid friend by directing one of the sharks against the sea devils. Before Scourge can be overwhelmed by the enemy, Captain Cutter yanks on the rope and pulls the tiefling-turned-goat back aboard as the goblin crew drives the rest of them away with a hail of spears. With the battle over, Vice shackles Nautilus's wounded opponent and learns that the sea devils were thralls of the Eldritch Occult. With both ships damaged by the attack and in need of repairs, Captain Cutter insists that the party remain aboard the Hammerhead while the crew ties off their boat to tow it to port. Together they head for the town of Westman for repairs, arriving at nightfall. Vice informs the group of a fishing tournament and picnic the following day, while Keel promises to rendezvous with them at the Sunken Anchor Tavern after meeting with a local shipwright. Weary from the battle, they enter the bustling seaside town in search of a place to stay the night, after yet another harrowing adventure here in the Broken Chain.